first shot, that one deflected by Pomerleau. Looks like Pomerleau is going to have a big reach advantage.
Yeah, and a smile on her face. I don't know many who go into a fight smiling, but good for Kris. I was just, wow, big shot there, nice left hook, and it's got Robin Combs backing up.
Well, again, in her first fight, Robin Combs did not face much in the way of opposition, especially striking from her opponent, but tonight seems to be different as a couple rights and lefts have already made their way through, although Combs has landed a couple of her own, but it seems to be that the reach advantage playing into it early here in favor of Kris Pomerleau.
No, absolutely. The thing that we need to watch for Kris Pomerleau is as she's snapping out one hand, she's punching with the other before the other hand retreats to return to her chin. So when she's punching in bunches, those hands aren't coming back, and if Robin Combs can time that, she's going to be able to counterpunch. But I'm sure her corner's going to notice that and hopefully make an adjustment before the next round.
Minute 50 to go, three-minute rounds. A big right hand there from Pomerleau.
Do you see her head snap back?
That I did, and you could hear the crowd behind us appreciating what Pomerleau was able to do with that right hand.
And still smiling, so Pomerleau stalking forward, perhaps maybe a little bit of an intimidation thing, saying, I'm enjoying punching you in the face.
Trying to get her up to the cage, another knee thrown, the clinch also very effective for Pomerleau so far. No quitting Combs though. Caught the punch and moves up against the cage. You can hear knee being called for by the fans, but not necessarily her coaches.
Well, fans know MMA too.
That they do.
Especially here in Calgary.
There's a bit of a break, a bit of a mouse under the eye, probably from that right hand on the face of Robin Combs. One side of her face seems to have taken a bit more damage than the other.
See, and at this point, you look at Kris Pomerleau being smart here. She's not necessarily pushing for the action. She's got to know that she's won the round at this point, just with the much more effective striking and cage control. So no need to necessarily push and put yourself in a bad position for a counterpuncher, because again, you look at Robin Combs, has a good solid build and probably able to put a pretty good shot in there if she catches her. Good leg
Checks the leg
check.
kick. A bunch of punches making it through there after the leg kick got checked, and just under 10 seconds remaining here in round number one, and Robin Combs was in trouble. That is the end of the first round, and Kris Pomerleau gives one for the fan. So Robin Combs in the blue trunks, out of the blue corner, out of the red corner. In the black and white trunks is Kris Pomerleau. And again, a big smile on the face of Pomerleau as she approaches. Although she took a right hand for her trouble, smile not going anywhere.
Some people just enjoy punching, and she's enjoying it right now. 3 or 4 big shots there, all hooks landing, and I can understand why Robin Combs might be backing up at this point.
Again, a big reach advantage for Kris Pomerleau, and she's putting it to good use going forward.
By Robin Combs, and they haven't been checked. They haven't even been acknowledged at this point. So maybe that's a strategy as Robin Combs can put forward and maybe attack that front leg, take away that power base for those shots.
Another right hand got through over the guard of Robin Combs, and her face is starting to get a little chewed up.
Well, it's almost a scowl now, less than a smile. Maybe she wants to finish her off at this point, but
and Robin Combs will have something to say with it. Some of her counter punches getting through, but it does look like she's taking the brunt of the damage. Looks like a standing guillotine attempt there by Pomerleau, but that didn't get through. Big knee to the midsection.
1 minute, 18 seconds remaining on our feature clock. Of this, the second round in our second fight here at the Hard Knocks Fighting Championship, number 23 already. Wow, Ryan.
Yeah, and not going to slow down anytime soon with 24 and 25 happening in the next 3 weeks. So Kris Pomerleau again stalking Robin Combs, has landed the better of the strikes this round. Another right hand snaps back the head of Robin Combs, who's proving to have a very durable chin, Jeremy.
Yeah, she's holding on really tight. I'm surprised that she hasn't taken a knee just to be able to get away from this onslaught, but right in our face now and still trying to defend. Some big shots there, and now just grabbing on is Kris Pomerleau.
Robin Combs has eaten
showing
a significant number of punches, and she is still game. The smile not quite as wide on the face as Kris Pomerleau, as she maybe thought that that was going to be the end of the fight there.
Well, and credit to Brian Beauchamp for not stopping it. In an amateur fight, a referee is again wanting to protect the athlete. 10 seconds remain in the round now. But Robin Combs still defending, and look at her good solid position, still hands by her chin. You know, so far she's lost these first 2 rounds, or at least in our opinion, but wow, she's really sticking in there to this.
Well, and it looks as she's going to get to a 3rd round, and anything can happen as Robin Combs comes out of the blue corner in the blue trunks. It's black and white trunks out of the red corner for Kris Pomerleau. And again, the striking and the smile just keep coming from Kris Pomerleau.
Yeah, absolutely, and she's, again, doing a better job of keeping her hands up, but needs to bring that hand right back to her chin, because the last thing you want is to dominate first 2 rounds and then just get caught the wrong way. There's so many fighters in the history of this sport that can say, oh, I was dominating them up to the last 10 seconds, I lost concentration and got caught.
Now at this point, Jeremy, if you're Robin Combs, do you try and take the fight to the ground and try and finish with a submission?
Unfortunately, with the amateur rules and with Kris Pomerleau still being appearing so very fresh, I might just try and go for broke here. Taking them down, you can't finish the fight really with head strikes, and trying for submission. I don't know quite Robin Combs' ability on the ground or Kris Pomerleau's ability to defend on the ground, but anything to try and change up this current structure, getting in behind, maybe rushing forward, something a little more unpredictable. She's proven that she has the chin to be able to rush forward and take a few shots coming in.
Both fighters exchanging punches, but not much damage landing. Biggest one of the round probably belongs to Combs a few moments ago.
And a nice kick there by Combs.
Yeah, nice kick to the midsection as well.
And showing cage control, nice knees to the inner thigh. Those don't feel good, especially the next day. Don't necessarily feel them, but they're training stoppers because you have a bruise on your leg for the next 2 weeks.
So more punches getting through. Combs trying to get wrist control, but unable to do so.
And just being patient with these shots. No need to rush here for Kris Pomerleau. Obviously winning the first 2 rounds and just trying to remain in control. 50 seconds remain on our feature clock. You see that in the bottom right-hand corner. Of course, it is round 3.
Again, Combs around the center of the cage, controlling the cage at this point, but I think Pomerleau, like you said, Jeremy, just content not to take a knockout punch here in the last 30 seconds.
A win is a win, whether it's a knockout or a decision. You never want to leave it in the hands of the judges, but I think if any judge scores this anything other than Kris Pomerleau victory, there's something really wrong.
Less than 10 seconds remaining now, or just about 10 seconds remaining now in round number 3, the 3rd and final round, and Robin Combs going for broke, trying to throw that big last strike and get in there and finish this fight with just a few seconds left. But like you mentioned, Jeremy, it was likely going to be a Kris Pomerleau victory, and that is the end of the 3rd and final round.